What is good? I mean, what is really good, my people? It is UK. Try to brother dr.blick, the darkest man around. Today, guys, I am here with NinjaStar. Say hi to the people, man.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm MrNinjaStar, or Ninja, as most people like to call me. Happy to be on the dr.blick's channel once again, and I haven't really been on for a, I think a chill, a discussion, a speculation type video like this or anything like that. I was just, I think on a Xenoverse video or something like that, but that game's dead.
Yeah, that was the only one.
Yeah,
that was the only one. But today we are going to be doing something that I've never done on my channel, and today is going to be a series that me and Ninja are going to be doing where we are going to be predicting the next chapter of One Piece. But how this is going to work, it's going to be slightly different. First of all, it's going to start off speculative, and then at the end we're going to draw a conclusion on what we think is going to happen in the chapter. But I'm going to start off by saying, Ninja,
yo,
so does Luffy have a chance against Katakuri or Dogtooth, however you like to call it? Does he have a chance?
You know what? I'm actually gonna go with the fact that, you know what, he might actually have a little bit of a chance. And the reason I say this is because I think it's a lot of it's involving the devil fruits. Now, I remember way back in Skypiea, Enderu was just played off as this overpowered monster that his devil fruit is still, in my eyes, because of his devil fruit, he could probably beat pre-time skip Rob Lucci just because, you know, he has observation hacking, first of all, and that devil fruit is just too OP. Even if, you know, Rob Lucci does have that, let's say, observation hockey and pre-time skip, which he probably didn't, but in the case that he did, I still think Enderu is just way too overpowered just because of that devil fruit. But, you know, when Luffy did roll around to go against Enderu, Luffy's devil fruit was the direct counter to Enderu. So it kind of begs the question, okay, yeah, it would seem like in hand-to-hand combat, you know, when you just put the two against each other and not really apply the laws of physics or anything, it's yeah, Enderu's probably gonna win. But then when you actually think about it, wait a minute, lightning doesn't really affect rubber all that much, and that's how Luffy was able to beat Enderu. Had Luffy not even had the Gomu Gomu no Mi, he would have died along with the rest of the Straw Hats. So I think it's safe to say, well, Katakuri is not Katakuri and Luffy, they're not direct opposites to one another. As a matter of fact, their fruits are very similar. I think that's actually going to be sort of an advantage because, yeah, even though Katakuri's devil fruit is kind of a better version of Luffy's, I think it was even said somewhere Katakuri's, Carrot noted that, yep, his fruit's just like Luffy's, and Katakuri, you know, his observation hockey's insane. He's much more experienced as a fighter, because we don't know how old Katakuri is, but definitely does seem to be older than the 19-year-old Luffy we all know and love.
Definitely older.
Yeah, but yeah, it just seems like Katakuri's the overall stronger and better better Luffy, essentially. So how does Luffy still have a chance? Well, I think just due to the fact that Luffy, no one expected Luffy to win on Skypiea, and then I feel with here, he's going to use the Devil Fruit abilities, he's going to be able to find a direct counter to, you know, Katakuri's Mochi, and I think that a little bit of foreshadowing was in the One Piece cover page, or not a cover page, but the Shonen Jump cover of this week's chapter, where it was basically just Luffy eating some Mochi. So maybe, who knows, maybe an upgraded Gear 4th or something like that is able to take down Katakuri's Mochi. Now, you know, I don't think Katakuri's just going to be badly defeated or anything, but I think Luffy's going to beat him one way or the other and then be able to escape. Maybe he takes Capone Beige's mirror and then you know, just gets out of there, is able to retrieve Sanji with the rest of his crew, and then just yeets out of Whole Cake Island. Who knows? I kind of rambled on a lot. What are your thoughts, Blake?
Yeah, I was sitting here just when am I gonna get worded? But when it comes down to my thoughts on whether it is impossible for Luffy to beat Katakuri, obviously it isn't impossible. There's always a chance. I've always adapted this concept into One Piece, and it's the same concept that they have in boxing, and it's called styles make fights. Styles do make fights. If Nami is able to damage Big Mom by using Big Mom's cloud against her, by using her own cloud against her to damage Big Mom, then we know that it's possible. We know it's possible for Luffy to at least hurt Katakuri. How he's gonna do it? Nobody knows. Nobody knows how he's gonna do it. But the thing is, I still feel that there are some variations of Gear 4 that we haven't seen yet. Because we've seen 4th Gear, Bound Man, and we've seen Tank Man. So in terms of it being possible, Of course it's possible. Like, you gotta give Luffy a chance, bro. He's the main character. You gotta give him a chance. But if he does lose, the only way I can see him getting out of it is if someone's dragging his ass out, or if it's gonna be like a sort of thing where you're seeing what's it, like Impel Down when when Luffy lost against Magellan both times, but he still managed to get saved and rescued in the end. Like I said, someone dragging his ass out. But with the way Oda built it up, he would have to be trolling us if Luffy didn't have a chance. A lot of people requested for this fight, so Luffy has to have somewhat of a decent chance. He has to put up a fighter's chance. He has to go all out. But it does raise the question. Is how? When did he learn this technique? When did he acquire this technique? If he did, why didn't he use it off the bat? Does this technique drain so much? If he was to have a technique that was to surpass the previous form of Gear 4, that was surpass what he already had. Like, there must be some major consequences and repercussions if this is the technique that Luffy can do. Did he learn something like he did against CP9? Like what is it? Like, a lot of questions. And it's the same thing with something like Dragon Ball Super with Goku and his new form Limit Break. And we don't know yet, but Dragon Ball Super is not really the series of logic. One Piece is a series that tries to apply logic and is known for applying logic when it comes to stuff like that. But another thing I want to discuss is Ninja. Do you think that there is a possibility of us seeing some backstory in Katakuri and us seeing a little bit of elements of backstory, or do you reckon that the next chapter is just going to be pure fighting, just Luffy versus Katakuri fighting? Do you think it's just going to be just pure fighting, or you think it's going to be some dialogue there like with the Rob Lucci fight? Because it does give you the vibe of the Rob Lucci fight, the way they took each other away. Luffy smashes the mirror, bro, going, we are gonna settle this here and now. And then you see the rest of the crew defending the ship like they did back in Ennie's lobby, bro. It has that whole vibe to it. Like, wow. Like, they're in a rut that Luffy has to put up a hell of a fight. Like, is this chapter just gonna be a pure fighting chapter? Because it's been a while since we've seen pure fighting, pure combat skills in One Piece. It's been a long time. We've seen it here and there, teased a bit there, but it's been a while since we've seen that. Like, do you reckon that we're gonna get this again? Because it's been since Dressrosa when you really think about it.
I mean, the thing is, though, is that well, before, you know, we were getting ready to record this, I did do some research earlier and was like thinking about it, because I feel like you were gonna bring a question like, okay, yeah, is the next chapter and the next few chapters just gonna be just Luffy versus Katakuri? I don't feel like that's the case personally, just because, like, I notice a lot of people are comparing this to the Rob Lucci fight, and I hate to, you know, compare these two fights because they're still like really different. And the Rob Lucci fight, that was 10 chapters. The thing is, though, like, 10 chapters, you know, that seems like a lot, but think about what was going on in those 10 chapters. There were certain chapters where like 80% of the fight was like, I don't know, Zoro versus Kaku or something, and then the other 20% was Luffy versus Lucci, and then there were other chapters within those 10 that were like maybe like 50% Rob Lucci versus Luffy, and then 50% like another Straw Hat fighting a CP9 member. So I noticed, like, One Piece doesn't really have these like little 1v1 particular just solely based on that, because as you notice, you know, if anyone that's seen all of One Piece, whether you've read the manga, watched the anime, whatever, right, like in between like the middle of a fight, it's gonna transition to another scene, and that's another reason why I like these One Piece fights so much. You know, they're happening simultaneously. Like, while Luffy is taking on freaking Rob Lucci, everyone else was taking on CP9, and I feel like with here, while Luffy is taking on Katakuri, there might be like a little scene transition to what's going on the other side of it's in another part of Totland where Sanji, Pudding, and Chiffon are making the cake. So who knows, maybe we get a little bit there. I don't think it's going to be too long, though. I still feel like most of the chapter is going to be Luffy versus Katakuri, and then the chapter after that's going to kind of be ending things off, because this isn't that... Sure, this is a big fight, but the whole point of this is just like, yeah, we're getting off Whole Cake Island. It's not like an insane amount of build-up or anything like that, like Luffy versus Rob Lucci. I think it's just going to be, we're settling this here and there. Whoever gets out, and we're getting out of Whole Cake. Like, that's kind of what it comes down to, and that's why I think next chapter will just be like kind of Luffy versus Katakuri, yes, definitely, and everything else. It'll kind of scene transition, and also adding on to what you were saying before I end off my ramble fast right here. Katakuri, I feel like with the backstory thing, we haven't really seen his backstory. Like, we saw Big Mom's backstory. Have we really seen any other Big Mom pirates backstories, like aside from, you know, Big Mom herself?
Pudding.
Oh yeah, Pudding. I mean, yeah, I guess Pudding, but there was only like a few panels. But I feel like with Katakuri, who knows? It could be the same. I mean, then again, you know, Pedro's flashback was only a few panels as well. So who knows? Maybe we got a little glimpse of Katakuri's past, something like that. Like maybe midway through the fight, maybe midway, like while he's getting defeated, he flashed back to like a moment he had with Big Mom, that ultimately gets defeated. Who knows?
Yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying, because like when it comes down to the backstories, Oda shows what is necessary to show at that moment in time. He doesn't need to waste time dedicating a whole chapter to a backstory. He can just show it in a panel, show all the stuff that you need to know, explain things at the right time, because that's what Oda does really well. When it comes down to backstory, when it comes down to positioning the right time to place these backstories, he does it really well. And another thing that I definitely agree with you on is the fact that Oda loves to show you what is happening at certain points in time. So like you said with the whole Luffy versus Rob Lucci, Zoro was fighting, Sanji was fighting, like you see what everybody else is doing, and that's what he's gonna do here. You're gonna see what's happening with Pudding. You're gonna see what's happening with Pudding and Sanji in one corner. You're gonna see what's happening with the people that are on the crew, and obviously you're gonna see what's happening with Luffy and Katakuri. Because bear in mind, last time I checked, Big Mom was about to tear that ship apart, bro. She was eating that shit, bro. She was eating it, bro. She was eating the shit, bro. I was like, bro, like the way she crept up on it, she looked best scary. Like, seeing that, I was like, Lord have mercy.
Oh my god.
I was like, Lord have mercy. What is she doing? But like, just keep that in mind. There's a lot of things that you're gonna question. Oda loves to give you a bit of everything. He puts you in a situation like, oh, I want to know what's happening here. Oh, I want to know what's happening here. He handles the timeline in the One Piece universe very well. He doesn't just overshadow it with one character. He's not in a hurry to finish off one fight. He loves to spread everything around and show you a good sense of timing and a good sense of transitioning in terms of how the day's going. He loves to do that, like he did in this chapter. This chapter, he rewinded back to how the whole explosion happened. Like, yeah, he did the whole recap thing, and then took us to where we were now and told us the whole situation with Pedro. We find out how old he is. He's 27. We find out all of that stuff. So when it comes down to all of this, Oda knows how to pan things out. Will we see a lot of the fight? Yeah, we will see it. Will it be as good as Rob Lucci versus Luffy? That is you don't top that, bro. That's hard. that's hard. Like that is hard. That is hard. Like, some people think Luffy has no chance. There's one thing about Luffy. If you look at everything that Luffy's done, even though Luffy has been rash at times, he can gauge whether he can and cannot beat someone. That is the reason why he said he'll come back and fight Big Mom.
Yep.
And he's got other reasons with the fact that he's got that agreement with Law. He's got the rest of his crew members. Like, if Luffy knew he could beat Big Mom now, he would beat Big Mom now. He would do it now. He knows he can't. He knows what he can and cannot do. Even though Luffy will still try and take people on because he gets clouded by anger. A lot of people try and do stuff that they know they can't do because they get angry at the moment in time. But Luffy's in that state of mind saying that I actually reckon I could take on this guy. And you've noticed something about Luffy in the past. Luffy says, oh, you're pretty strong. And when he says that, that person turns out to be OP as hell. Like, the person turns out to be overpowered as hell. But there's one final thing I want to say. So what's your final predictions for the next chapter of One Piece?
My final predictions, I kind of already.
What's gonna happen?
I think Luffy versus Katakuri. I don't think it's necessarily gonna end next chapter. Like what you were saying, and what I was saying as well earlier. It's probably gonna cut away to something else, like maybe Sanji's baking the cake or something, and then cuts back to the fight, and then it's to be continued, and then maybe who knows? Maybe Katakuri. Maybe this is a moment where Oda puts in the flashback, and then Katakuri. Because remember, this happened with Big Mom, where Big Mom, like at the very end of a certain chapter, I forgot the exact number, but it showed like a panel of Big Mom's backstory, and it said, "To be continued, this demon child's rest of the backstory," something like that. And
I know what chapter you're talking about. Is when they started the whole stuff with Big Mom and people of Elbath and freaking Mother Carmel shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, but continue.
Yeah, but basically though, like with that, it could be a similar situation here when at the very end of the chapter, Katakuri thinks back to like a certain panel with him and Big Mom or something. Maybe like, I don't know, Big Mom did something really impactful to Katakuri and making him so loyal to her or something like that. And then it says to be continued, Katakuri's past, and then the chapter right after that is gonna have like Katakuri's remaining past. Maybe show Katakuri getting defeated by Luffy. Maybe Luffy finds a quick counter and then just goes back because he realizes, you know what, I underestimated this guy, I can't do it. Who knows? I don't know. I hope that isn't the case, because yeah, well, some people are saying like, oh, it's gonna ruin the power scaling or whatever. Like, what? Like, the thing is though, is that Eneru, if you think about, like, if you're even gonna factor power scaling into it here, it's not just about who's gonna not necessarily like based on raw strength. It's who's gonna win in a fight. Like and Eneru to Luffy, Eneru's Devil Fruit's way better, but Luffy was able to beat it just because, you know, a lot more tactics, a lot more everything like that. And it was also like the crocodile incident. Crocodile's fruit is just way better than Luffy's, but Luffy was able to find a counter to it, everything like that. So who knows? It could really
make fights.
Definitely
make fights,
especially in One Piece. Yeah,
it's like they adapted the whole boxing logic, bruh, and just slapped it into One Piece. Like with Devil Fruits, it gives you the pros and it gives you the cons. Like, remember where you saw a good example is Smoker versus Ace. Remember back in Alabasta when Smoker's like, this could be like this is I'm fighting a battle that freaking could literally never end. I'm not getting anywhere with this. There's no point. It's like that. It's like that. Like, there's some fights that it, like, just because of someone's Devil Fruit, it kind of overrides it. Even though you could say Haki, but it does factor into the account how much that person relies on a certain aspect. Because if you notice something about One Piece, there's yet to be a character that specializes in everything. You got one character that is able to do armor Haki to a decent rate, but he's not as good as armor Haki as he is his observation, or as he is with Conquerors. Like, a lot of people have stuff that they specialize in. A lot of people have something that they're good at. A lot of people have stuff that they're bad at. A lot of people need their Devil Fruit because that's a heavy reason why they are as strong as they are. It all depends on the way the person fights. Styles do make fights in One Piece. But you got anything else to add, or we can end this video?
Now we can end this long 17-minute video. That I got all my points out there.
But yeah, guys, make sure you check out NinjaStar. The link to his channel will be in the description below. I highly recommend it. And also make sure you leave a like rating and comment on this video as well. I'm sorry, I'm gonna try to be more consistent with my uploads again. I've been kind of iffy. But anyways, let me just wrap up this video. So please comment and subscribe. I know I say this all the time, but at the end of the day, I'm just saying, please leave a like rating. Enjoy this video, and yeah, catch you next one, guys. And make sure you put your thoughts and opinions about this overall chapter and what you think is gonna happen in the next chapter down in the comment section below. And yeah, catch you next one.
Peace.
Bye.